coronavirus. 9 countries and governments to conclude an agreement with a pharmaceutical company to acquire the virus vaccine as their proven success, and debate continues between many of the vaccines and their successes, as some link between their production and political employment that exceeds the medical standard sometimes accelerated and is faced. Talking about the corona vaccine, the virus is returning to spread, and the announcement by a number of countries that the number of injuries has increased. Record numbers. Countries and companies are racing to announce each of them about the meeting. Survival is racing against time. Accompanying it, all other countries and governments actively strive to conclude contracts. The acquisition of the expected meeting, which is supposed to completely eliminate corona, and according to these processes, the debate about the feasibility and consequences, the declaration of countries, companies and universities, suspended or successful, completed or in progress. These parties said that he will his scientific experiments, and the demand for it appeared locally and internationally in the loan. But these announcements did not leave many people out of the circle of political polarization and mutual suspicion of what is very deserving among people around the world. The possibility of access in the drug was taken without making sure of its side effects, and while waiting for the coronavirus to continue its dreadful spread. But Hideen has exceeded 30 million while he has not yet completed his annual cycle, while scientists continue their civil efforts, and all are looking forward to the fact that science and scientists will prevail in the confrontation disproportionate to the pandemic. Internet. Dr. Bilal Al-Zayatri, expert in medicine and vaccines. Welcome to you, Dr. Bilal. Is this speed, or if it is correct, to rush to the production of marriage, it can actually affect its effectiveness and quality? Assad God, my brother Hassan, the Muslim Brotherhood's evening viewers, or your morning, according to the timing already. These pressures that have been accepted by politicians around the world on scientists and developers in vaccines are aimed at expediting the removal of marriage, and its goal is to postpone the procedures, or the third stage of experiments. The clinical method is done in the way of imitation. I put the viewers' brothers in the normal circumstances, and it takes between 5 and 10 years, where the clinical evaluation is narrated and the lateral observation is carried out and studied to ensure reflection as a result of these political pressures imposed on developers until there is light to sacrifice measures for Bilal's gains. What is the beginning of the reality in which we all live in the world nations? This major obstacle that the coronavirus constitutes the components of life. As it seems, there is no alternative. What? Of course, there is a saying that says that harm I saw that prohibitions are permitted, but we must not sacrifice what. There's an alliance of 8 companies that issued a statement about God. These companies should deliver a song under the altar, and if last week we saw the great transparency of Oxford University with a vaccine in the face of this race, do you think that it will actually produce a vaccine? Of course, we hear many specialists say even if you are obliged to until its effectiveness is 90% or 100%, there is a state of general optimism in the vaccine developing community about the possibility of producing an effective vaccine, and under the circumstances in which it lives in it, up to 70% is effective. It is considered a high percentage and will lead to saving the lives of millions. We are beginning to appreciate the continuation of work for months from now, and it is a very short period. What I would say is that necessities permit prohibitions, but we do not want, and no one wants, the disaster of the 50s to be repeated when one of the companies was established. The developer of one of the polio vaccines produced a vaccine and put it on the market, which led to deaths in this world.